Happy day all. Boonchild here. If you're new, if you're coming back and you're a subscriber, thank you and hello. I appreciate it. So today I'm making a keto dish. It could also be a traditional dish. It's a beef and cheddar quiche. It's really good. All we're using is on the stove here. I have a 1.5 pounds of ground beef, and to that I'm going to add some garlic and parsley and some pepper. I'll do that right now. You can use whatever spices that you want. That is the wonderful thing about cooking and baking. You put the spices that make you happy. So a little bit of pepper and some, I didn't use any Himalayan salt because of the salt in the parsley, so I'm just keeping it at that. Now this is, you know, coming up to it's almost cooked. So I'm going to add, I have like one onion here that's diced up. My lighting is a little off as always, sorry. I'm going to add my onion to that and let that cook up. And once this is all cooked up, I am going to drain the hamburger grease. This is an 85/15 great value hamburger. Nothing too special, but it's what I have. Alright, so I'm going to let that cook up. And while I'm doing that, we will finish the rest of the ingredient list. We'll be using a couple spoonfuls. This is Duke's. Use whatever you want, Hellman's, whatever. This has actually zero sugar, zero added sugar. That's why I like this one. And a 1/2 cup of whipping cream, and maybe a little more if we need it. And in this bowl, I have 1 cup of almond flour, and I have 3 tablespoons of softened room temperature butter. And all I'm doing is just going to mix this up, and it's going to be the base of the crust for our quiche. Now you certainly don't have to use a crust. I'm just kind of in a meat pie kind of mood, so I kind of want the little extra breading on the bottom, and this is it because I don't use regular flour. Alright, so nothing fancy here. I am going to just toss in a little bit of this garlic salt just to give it a little bit more flavor. And I'm not trying to make like a regular crust that you roll out. I'm going to add a little bit of cold water. This is all going to be, you know, when you're making it, it's going to be as it comes. There's no set measurements. You know, you just got to play around with it until you get the right consistency of what you want. And I need a little spatula. Got my green one here. And I'm just trying to mix this up really good, or as best I can. And then I'm just going to put it right in my olive oil sprayed pan. I need to adjust the lighting just a little bit, so I'll be right back. Sorry about that, folks. This camera is supposed to have adjustable lighting, automatic, but it doesn't work all that great. So I've got a little crumbly texture here. You can see that or not. I'm going to add just a couple more drops of cold water. This is just some purified great value drinking water. And like I said, this is nothing fancy. I just want a little bit of crust on the bottom. So I'm actually just going to put this in there with my hands. So I scrape this off, and I'm going to use my glove and put it on the bottom of the pie tin. Give this a mix. And the onions are, you know, they're going to cook. They're not going to be translucent, but that's okay because they're going to finish baking in the oven for 350 degrees, which I need to turn on. There we go. Let that heat up. Alright, so 1 cup of almond meal, 3 tablespoons of room temperature butter, and just some couple drops of ice water. And I am going to bake this probably just for about 10 minutes at 450. Maybe not even 10 minutes, probably about 8. Actually, 425. Just to give it a nice solid bottom, you know, and then we'll put the meat mixture in. So it's like a big ball of dough. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not rolling it out. I'm just going to push, you know, place it in here, because rolling out almond flour and stuff is a little bit more difficult than traditional flour. Well, I forgot to mention I've got 2 eggs that will be going into the beef cheddar mixture. And also using Colby and Monterey Jack cheese, which is still in the fridge, but I'll grab it when it's time to put it in the bowl. Alright. And I'm not going all the way up the sides. I'm just kind of pressing it down, you know, on the bottom as even as I can. Like I said, I just want a little bit of a taste, you know, a little bit of breading, not a whole lot. Okay, and that part is done. So I just need to wait for the oven to preheat, and then at 425 for about 5 to 8 minutes, and then pull it out and let it cool while the rest of this is cooking. And this is pretty much done. So I'm going to drain the grease out, and I will meet you back here in a few minutes. Thanks for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. Stay tuned. Hey guys. So the crust is ready. I popped it in the oven at 425 just for 6 minutes because I wanted to create a nice little base. So it's got a good color to it. It smells real good. It's nice and firm, and that's what I was looking for. Didn't want to overcook it, just get a nice little firm base. Okay, so the beef and the onions have been drained. The grease has been drained out. So now we just want to put in the rest of our quiche mix. Okay, so 2 eggs. I whisked them. That word, oh my goodness, I need practice with that word. Okay, now this is 3 ounces of the mayonnaise. You can use more or less, you know, it's your choice, your option. I just like the, you know, it gives a good flavor and it adds a little extra fat into your dish. Now this here is 2 cups of Colby and Monterey Jack cheese, and I'm just putting just a little bit in there with the mix. The rest is going to go on top. And I'm going in with a 1/2 cup of heavy whipping cream, and I can add more if I need it. And I'm just going to mix this up and see what we have. Boy, does it smell good. Now if you wanted to make 2 pies, you just double the recipe and use you know, a 3-pound thing of meat, and you could do, I mean, you double the rest of the ingredients and then just add another pound. This originally had, you know, it was 3 pounds, and I just cut it in half. I'm going to make another meal with the other 1.5 pounds. But if you wanted to make 2 pies, then of course you'd, you know, double everything. Okay, so this has the consistency that I want. I do think I want to add just a little bit of parsley. So let me back up here and grab it out of my spice cabinet here. I just like the, you know, a little bit of green color in there. So just a couple of shakes, you know, not a whole lot. Just want a little bit of green in there. So you're getting your, you have egg, ground beef, and cheese, so you're getting plenty of fat and protein, and you've got an onion in there, so you have your carbs in there, you know, a little bit of carbs, not a whole lot. I mean, we're not going to eat the whole pie, we're going to eat a little wedge, you know. Alright, so you're just going to pop that on there. Boy, does it smell good. Alright. Set that there. I'm going to need that. and just spread it evenly. Now I'm going to bake this for about 35 to 40 minutes, and I'm not going to cover it. I'm just going to let it cook because everything is basically cooked. You're just kind of melting the cheese a little bit. Alright, so it looks good. It's hot. I forgot that it was hot. Silly me. Alright, see, I don't know if you can see that or not, but that's what it looks like. So now we just need to top it with the cheese. And you don't have to use Colby and Monterey Jack. You can use, you know, whatever cheese you want. And you don't have to limit it to 2 cups. You can put what you want on it. You know, this would be good with just cheddar. Probably even a Swiss. Okay, so there's that. Alright, so I'm going to pop this in the oven at 350 for 35 to 40 minutes. And we'll be back when it's ready. Thanks for watching today. I really do appreciate it. I hope you are all having a wonderful day. So, from North Carolina, I'll see you in a few minutes. Hello. So, my keto beef and cheddar quiche is ready. Check it out. Nice golden color. You know, you can eat this if you eat the traditional diet. I have been making this dish far long before I ever became keto. The only difference is, you know, I altered it to be more keto, and really the only thing I had to do was change the crust from a traditional flour crust to an almond flour. And if you want to cut your carbs down even more, just omit the crust altogether. My almond crusts are just very basic, very simple. It's almond meal, some room temperature butter, and some cold water. That's it. And, you know, whatever herbs and spices you want to put in there. So this is piping hot. I probably should let it set before I cut into it, but I never do that. I'm just gonna, you know, go right into it and see how I did. It looks really good. I know my husband's gonna like this. He loves my beef and cheddar quiche. And like I said, you can vary it up by using, you know, whatever cheese you want. If you wanted to change the vegetable, you know, you could put whatever, you know, onions, not onions, it's already in there, spinach, you know, broccoli, whatever you wanted to do. So I'm trying to make sure that I get the crust in there. And I got most of it. There's a little bit left on there. Sometimes that happens. But look at this. Oops. This is the crust. It came out really good, and I think that, you know, baking it a few minutes before you pop the, you know, the beef mixture in really helps it. So, I'm going to try this for you and see how I did. I'm going to make sure I get a little bit of that crust in there. The crust looks so good. Like I said, I just felt like having, you know, like a pie, you know, meat pie with the actual crust. I just felt like having one today. And that's how I base a lot of the things that I cook, is just, you know, sometimes I just get this whim, I want to make something, so I do. I made brownies the other night at, you know, 10 o'clock at night, because my dinner was, it was really mediocre, more of a lazy kind of thing. I had 3 hot dogs. That's it. It was terrible. And so I just wanted something, and so I made brownies. And, you know, I had to wait for them to cook and stuff, but they were really so good. Alright, anyways, back to my quiche. Let me blow on it, because I know it's really, really piping hot. And it took 40 minutes to cook. I took it out, you know, at 40 minutes, and it was fine. So, here I go. That is good. Yeah, when I turn this camera off, I'm going to finish eating that. It's 2:26. This is, well, going to be dinner tonight, but I'm going to have mine for my first meal of the day, and I might have another piece for dinner or something else for dinner. This will be my husband's dinner. And my children, they don't really like comfort food type things. So what I'll probably do is for my son and my kids, my girls, I'll cook up some ground beef. We call it beef crumbles, and they eat that with a vegetable, some sort of starchy side. They like their pasta, and that's what they'll have, or a fruit, beef crumbles and some apple slices or whatever. But this is really good. If you make it, I hope you enjoy it. This is one of my favorite dishes. Definitely one of my husband's favorite dishes. It never gets old. This is just keto perfect to me because it has some onion in it, not a whole lot. It's got cheese, it has ground beef, and it has eggs, so there's plenty of protein, plenty of fat. I put in a little bit of parsley, you know, the garlic, salt, and pepper, you know, and a little almond crust. It's really good. It tastes good. Try it. Hope it comes out for you and you like it. That this is one of my favorite dishes. So really, all of you new, returning, thank you so much for watching my videos. I do appreciate it. And to all you subscribers, I give my thumbs up to you guys. It means so much to me. All of you do. Thank you so much, and have an awesome day. Until next time, bye.